Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be going through the new Warcry Dominion Fighter cards and campaign for Warcry. Here we are at the Warhammer community site, and it's always awesome to scroll down and see some latest news for Warcry. And today we've got an article where we can see the warriors from Dominion arriving in Warcry with free fighter cards and a new campaign. And this is an awesome article with a great update. So if you're into Warcry, then this is awesome. And if you picked up the Dominion box set, with this update in this article, you'll be able to use all the fighters that are included in that set, except for Indrasta, in your Warcry game. So let's click on the article and we'll go through all the details. We'll take a look at the fighter cards for the Kruleboyz, the fighter cards for the Stormcast, also look at their abilities, and then have a really good look at the new campaign. Okay, so here's the article dated 25th of August 2021. The warriors from Dominion arrive in Warcry with free fighter cards and a new campaign. We're also going to get the abilities as well. So this is really great news, and this is part of this Warcry Call of the Ever-Chosen. So we've seen, I think, 3 campaigns released now. We saw one come out for the Cursed City game, and also 2 others to bring in some of the newer models as they release them, so keeping us up to date. So if you've already got those Warcry supplement books, this is kind of in addition to those for the newer miniatures that have come out since they were released. Now, it does say in this article that this is the final installment of the Call of the Ever-Chosen, so we're not going to see any more of these. Maybe in the future they'll run this again, but for now this is it. But at the end of this article, as you'll see soon, there's some little news that I think is going to be really cool. So we'll get to that later on though. But here's the article, and so we've got a new narrative campaign to use with our Dominion miniatures. So now we can take the Thunderstrike Stormcast and the Kruleboyz and play them in Warcry. So this is really great. So as we scroll down, it's going to tell us in this article that for the Thunderstrike Stormcast, we're going to get 18 fighter cards to choose from, and the Stormcast are a warband of elite heavy hitters, as you might expect from Sigmar's finest, and these warriors never go down without a fight thanks to their Blaze of Glory ability. And so it's just giving us a little sneak peek here at the ability in one of the cards, but we'll go through all their cards and all the abilities later on in the video, so I'm not going to spend too long on this, but this is a good overview of what we can expect to see for not just the Stormcast but the Kruleboyz too. So it's picked out a few of those, but we've also got the War of Morocc Hills campaign to play, and this campaign continues the narrative of Amberstone Watch from Dominion and the 3 starter sets. So this is really cool. So if you play Age of Sigmar and you can play those bigger battles, now you can take these miniatures and start playing some smaller skirmishes in the Warcry and set in with the Warcry rules. So this is really fun, and as a big fan of Warcry, I'm really happy about this. I think the miniatures in Dominion were amazing, and so really happy to get the official cards now to use them in the game. So this is really awesome. But it tells us that the Auric Lions of the Thunderstrike Stormcast have reclaimed the town, but their position could be described as tentative at best, and the Kruleboyz, led by the killer boss Gazog, are regrouping and readying for war once more. And here we got the map where we can see all the different spots that we're going to be taking some battles to, and as we look down, it tells us that the narrative campaign is going to be fought on 3 fronts: the ruins of Hardoon, Strangler's Marsh, and White Rush Strongpoint, and each player must decide in secret which of their heroes they will dispatch to each front. Oh, that's really cool. And then make in for 3 grueling battles before the campaign finale is fought. And this will happen either in Amberstone Watch, as the Kruleboyz seek to reclaim their hold over the town, or out in the Morocc Hills, where the Auric Lions hope to rid the land of this Auric menace once and for all. So I think we'll finish this article up, and then we'll click on the campaign first, and then we'll have a good look at the campaign and see the setting, and then we'll have a look at the Stormcast fighter cards and abilities as a quick overview, the Kruleboyz abilities and fighter cards, and then I can do some separate videos, some deep dive videos where we really look at each fighter card and each ability in detail for both of these 2 warbands, because I think that'll be really fun, and I think there's a lot going on here. So if you want to download these, I'll put a link to this article in the description below, and you can see you can go and download the Stormcast fighter cards, the Kruleboyz fighter cards, and this War of Morocc Hills campaign. But that pretty much ends the article, so we're going to have a look at the campaign. But before we do that, just this little bit here in the middle, it tells us that, again, this is the last instalment of Call of the Everchosen, but it won't be long before they reveal what exciting things lie in store for Warcry. So we are going to get some more stuff for Warcry. I was talking to someone in the comments on the channel yesterday, and we were just wondering, when are we going to see something? I was really expecting to see some previews getting released in August, but maybe in September we'll start seeing some new things that could be on the horizon for Warcry. And last year, Catacombs come out in November, so we should certainly be seeing something soon. And then we've got a load of good stuff in December as well. So maybe they're going to be repeating that this year. So we'll wait and see on that. But great news that Warcry isn't finished, and it looks like there's a lot more to come. So really excited about that. But now let's click on the War of Morocc Hills and take a really good look at this campaign. So here we are, and this is where the free download PDF is available. And we can see here that it lays out everything we need to know about the campaign and some special rules. And down here as well, more to read through. So I'll just have a quick overview, but again, if you want this, the link's in the description to that article and you can download it and work through it yourself. But let's go through and look at the introduction, and it tells us, in the aftermath of the battle for Amberstone Watch, the Kruleboyz killer boss Gazog was driven back, but the cunning Auric is far from defeated. As the stoic and implacable hammers of Sigmar consolidate their position at Amberstone Watch, they ready themselves to strike south towards the Morocc Hills with vengeance. The bloodshed has only just begun, for the Kruleboyz are itching to avenge the setback, and neither side will back down before the other is utterly destroyed. So this sounds great fun, and it's a narrative campaign for 2 players, and one will take the role of the Auric Lions, a Thunderstrike Stormhost of the Hammers of Sigmar Stormcast Eternals. The other player is going to take the role of Gazog's Boys, a band of cruel and malicious Kruleboyz that nearly succeeded in bringing Amberstone Watch to ruin and are now out to finish the job. And with this campaign, it's going to last for 3 or 4 battles in total. And to begin with, the 2 sides are going to battle over different locations of importance between Amberstone Watch and the Morocc Hills, which are to the southwest. Then, once one side has carved out an advantage, they will confront their enemy in a final, decisive battle. And this narrative campaign explores that aftermath of Amberstone Watch, which we saw in the Dominion box set and the starter sets as well. So this is great. We're going to be able to use all the miniatures from that Dominion box set. And it tells us how to get ready here. We're going to have 3 heroes, and each are going to command a warband. So this is fun. So the Auric Lions are under the command of Lord Imperator Tiberain Vorst, with his 2 trusted lieutenants, the Knight Arcanum Gale's Eye and the Knight Vexilor Kaidane Damar, who carries the banner of Apotheosis. For Gazog's Boys, there's Gazog himself, who ride into battle on his Nashtooth, and he's got 2 subordinates. So we're going to have the Swamp Caller Shaman named Wozgag and the killer boss Brockagok. And then so we've got 3 leaders with 3 warbands, and then the battles of the campaign are going to be fought over 3 locations. And so these are going to be the Ruins of Hardoon, Strangler's Marsh and White Rush. So before the campaign can begin, each player is going to dispatch each of their 3 heroes along with those warbands to the different locations, and the players are going to do this in secret. And it says in the article here, all the rules, that they are encouraged to look at the rewards of victory each location gives, and also to second guess their opponent's decisions to try to strike at the weak point in their line. So I really like this idea of splitting it up into 3 warbands and then just being sneaky about where you put them, trying to second guess your opponent. So this is really fun, and there's going to be some tables down here that detail the fighter card of each hero and the size of the warband under their command. So let's have a look at those now. So this is getting even better. So the warbands are different sizes. So we've got the Auric Lions are going to take a warband of 1200 points, 1000 or 900, and Gazog's Boys are going to take the size 1300, 1000 or 800 points. So this could be really fun. So if you end up putting Tiberain Vorst with 1200 points against Brockagok at 800, you got a huge advantage right away. So where you place these is going to be really important. And yeah, that's going to be really fun to see how that pans out. So I'm loving the sound of this so far. Right, so once we've done all of that, it tells us how we're going to fight the first battle. And so we've got a few steps to go through: the playoff, mustering the warbands, and then making sure we get the size right for each of these. So that's all pretty self-explanatory there. There's a good few points. There's 12 steps we need to take here. So a few things to read through and make sure we get right for all of that there. So yeah, quite a bit of rules there to get right. And then once we've done the first battle, it tells us fight in the next battles. And then after the first battle, then the player who did not pick the location of the battle picks a different location for the second battle, which is then fought using steps 2 to 12, which we've just had a quick look at. And after the second battle, if one player has scored 2 victories, the final battle is fought. And so we'll go down to the final battle then. But if each player has won 1 battle each, then a third battle is going to be fought just to see who gets the advantage. So that's cool. So you could potentially only play 3 battles with this campaign, or you can play 4. So with the final battle, once one player has 2 victories, the final battle of the campaign is fought, and the location of this battle will be determined by which player has earned those 2 victories. If it's the Auric Lions, then they have tracked down the Kruleboyz to the foot of Morocc hills and now ride out to defeat them in their home swamps. But if it is Gazog's boys, then they have lured the Stormcast Eternals out of position and now strike at Ambers and Watch once again, hoping to finish them off this time. And this unique battle plan is called the Decisive Battle, and this is going to be used for this final battle. And the winner of the battle is declared the overall winner of the campaign. So let's take a look at this Decisive Battle and see exactly how it's going to work. So here we go. So this is the second double page that we can get and download as part of the PDF. And this is going to give us all the information here for each of the locations, the battlefield locations, and that decisive battle. So if we just scroll in and look at the ruins of Hardoon, it's going to give us a little overview of what it's all about. Go through the battle plan, the twist, the reward, and then everything we get for that. So this is really cool. Same for Strangler's Marsh, and same for White Rush Strongpoint. It's all pretty self-explanatory there. If you've played Warcry and some of the narrative campaigns, then you'll be pretty familiar with all of this. And here's the decisive battle. We just let that settle and focus in, and here we can see that this again gives us a nice overview. Talks about the warbands and how many points we need to muster now, and then looks at, so there's a few rules in that to read through, so that's pretty important. And then again breaks down the victory and twist, and we've got some extra battle plan abilities that we can use here in this decisive battle. And this has got 2 unique abilities that can only be used when playing this particular battle plan. So these are pretty interesting. Let's have a look. So double from the heavens for the Stormcast, and this fighter makes a bonus move action. Then at the end of that move action, if there are any enemy fighters within 1 inch of this fighter, you pick one of those fighters and then allocate D3 damage points to that fighter. That's a really nice double. So this is going to be a pretty intense battle right from the start if we can use these as doubles. And then for the Kruleboyz, it's a double called Out of the Mists, and this fighter can use this ability only if there are no visible enemy fighters within 12 inches of this fighter. And this fighter makes a bonus move action. Okay, so we're going to be trying to keep some range then, I suppose, here. So this fighter can only use this ability only if there are no visible enemies. So you can't have any visible enemies within 12 inches, and then you can make a bonus move action. Alright, so that's going to kind of play into the tactics, but I think from those 2, I'm liking the From the Heavens for the Stormcast a little bit more. And as we scroll down, right at the bottom, we're just going to learn about terrain and deployment. So it's got everything we need to know here on this double page of the PDF for all the different battles and the decisive battle at the end. So this looks really great, and I think out of all the Call of the Ever-Chosen campaigns they put out, I think this one sounds like it could easily be my favourite. I really like the models that come in the Dominion box set, and I think I like the idea that it's just 3 or 4 battles. It all seems pretty simple. Some of the others were a little bit complicated and a bit drawn out for me, but this one I think would be quite quick and easy to play. So I can imagine this one game night, if you've got some friends around, you could get this played out pretty quick. So really happy with this campaign, and I think this is one I'll definitely be trying out. So that's the campaign covered. So now let's have a look at the Thunderstrike Stormcast fighter cards and abilities. And again, this is just going to be an overview. I'll pick out some of the favourite points from this, but I'm going to do a separate video where we do a Thunderstrike Stormcast deep dive, going into every single fighter and all the abilities in a lot more detail. But here you can see we've got another PDF that you can download from that article, so just follow that link down in the description below, and it gives us all the abilities, fighter cards, and also the naming tables, origin tables, and leader, favoured warrior background tables. So these you would usually find in the Warcry books and supplement books, and for these new figures they're giving us these updates, so we can just use them as a PDF on our tablets or laptop or phone, or we can print them off and then keep them in those books if we wanted to. So really great to get these official cards. I made some for the Stormcast for my Patreon group, and I also did Kruleboyz that I gave away for free to everybody just to celebrate that Dominion release. But it's really cool to get the original ones, and these are going to be a lot more balanced if you like that kind of thing. And so yeah, these are a lot better, and some really nice abilities that play into the narrative of both of these warbands. So one thing that was mentioned in the article that stood out to me right away was the huge toughness ability 7 that we see for some of the fighters included here. So if we move down, let's get down to it. On here you can see that the Annihilator with Meteoric Hammer, let's just zoom that in, there we go, let's focus now. The Annihilator with Meteoric Hammer has got a toughness 7, which is huge. We haven't seen that yet on any fighter, I don't think, in Warcry. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty tough customer to go up against. 150 points. He's got a movement 3, so he's certainly not going to be fast, but if you can get him in amongst the enemy, that blooming 7 toughness is huge, and he can take 20 wounds, so he's going to be hard to hit, and he's also strong as well, so he's going to be dishing out some pain with his 2 attacks, strength 5, dealing 2 to 5 on a crit. And he's also going to get an ability, he's got the Brute Rune mark, so let's have a look at his ability, and then we can pick that out. And this is a quite good one called a quad, and this is called Force of a Falling Star, and this fighter makes a bonus move action, and if this fighter finishes that move action within 1 inch of an enemy fighter, pick a visible enemy fighter within 1 inch of this fighter, and then simply allocate a number of damage points equal to the value of this ability to that enemy fighter. So with this guy, you really do need that bonus move action. It's going to get him in amongst the fight, and then he can dish out a little bit of damage to get started with before he uses his own, potentially 2 attack actions in his turn to do some serious damage. So yeah, these are going to be a real force, but you get them in front, get them tangled up and engage with the enemy, and they're going to be some serious tanks that are going to take a lot of punishment, I think. But while we're on this bit, there's another quad for the leader ability that I really like. This is awesome. This is called Draw the Gaze of Sigmar, and with this we pick a point on the battlefield that is visible to this fighter and allocate a number of damage points equal to half the value of this ability, rounding up to all enemy fighters within 3 inch of that point. So I really love this ability. This is the sort of thing I like to play, and this will be really great. So I'm really looking forward to trying this out. But I also like the triple leader ability called Coordinated Strike, where you can pick a number of other visible friendly fighters equal to half the value of this ability who are within 9 inches of this fighter. And then each fighter picked can make a bonus move action or a bonus attack action, and some can make bonus move actions while others make bonus attack actions, so you can mix it up depending on what situation they're in. So those two I really like. And then we've also got a really nice double for all the fighters in the Thunderstrike Stormcast warband, which is called Blaze of Glory. And for a double, this is really great. A fighter can use this ability only if they have 15 or more damage points allocated to them, and then this fighter can make a bonus attack action. So as we start to get perhaps near the end of the battle, they're going to be taking some punishment, and then they can start unleashing these doubles and making extra bonus attacks, which is going to be crazy considering how strong they are and how much damage they can do already. So yeah, if you can get stuck in and potentially have 3 attack actions in 1 activation, then that's going to be huge. So you can do some serious damage with these guys, I think. But some great abilities. Really liking the look of this. You can't use Andrasta in here. There's no card, as they say. She's a bit too powerful, but you can certainly make up your own, like I did, if you really want to use that model. So yeah, that wouldn't be a problem at all. But I think there's some really nice stats here, and it really plays into the narrative. So really happy with these cards. Can't wait to give them a try, and I'm really looking forward to actually getting these guys finished, because I haven't painted them all yet, and then getting them on the battlefield. But this is certainly going to inspire me to get stuck in and get the painting finished for these Thunderstrike Stormcasts. Now let's have a look at the Kruleboyz, and every single one of the Kruleboyz from that box set is included here, even the killer boss on Great Gnashtooth. So this is really cool, and these look awesome. When I did the cards for the Kruleboyz that I made, I went a bit over the top with the Man Skewer Bolt Boys and gave them a bit too long range and made them a bit too powerful. So this has toned that down a bit. I think it's going to work really nicely, and the abilities are really good as well. Again, playing into that narrative. So that's really nice. But let's have a look at the killer boss on Great Gnashtooth, because it's an awesome model, and this is going to be a perfect leader to bring in. And he's 245 points. He's got a great movement of 8, a toughness of 5, and can take 38 wounds. And he's going to be attacking with a range of 1, making 4 attacks, strength 4, dealing 2 to 5 on a crit. So that's really nice. And then his abilities, he's going to be able to use 2 leader abilities, but he's also going to get a regular fighter ability that he can use as well. So that regular fighter ability is a double called Venom Encrusted Weapon, and until the end of this fighter's activation, you can add 1 to damage points allocated by each critical hit from attack actions made from this fighter or by this fighter. So that's not bad. Not one of my favourite kind of abilities, but I think if you're rolling a few attack actions in one turn, then you could do some extra damage there with that. But he's going to get his own ability here, which is a leader ability, which is a double called Bone Crushing Bite. And here we pick a visible enemy fighter within 1 inch of this fighter and roll a number of dice equal to half the value of this ability, rounded up. For each 3+, allocate 3 damage points to that fighter. So this I like for a double, really nice. You get a double 6 here, which is a good chance you're going to get that. Then you can roll 6 dice, and then, oh no, sorry, it's half the value. So you can roll 3 dice maximum, and for every 3+, allocate 3 damage points. So potentially you could dish out another 9 damage points here with this double, which is always good, and you're going to need that against the tough guys, the Stormcast. So that's a pretty good double. I like that one. And he's also got this other leader ability down the bottom, which any leader you choose from this warband can use. And this is a quad called Cunning Attack. And a fighter can use this ability only if there are more friendly fighters with the warrior rune mark within 6 inches of this fighter than there are enemy fighters within 6 inches of this fighter. And those friendly fighters can make a bonus move action or a bonus attack action, and some can make a move and some can make an attack. So very similar to the Stormcast triple leader ability we saw, I think. But with this one, there's a really good chance that you're going to have more friendly fighters with the Kruleboyz, because there's just going to have more on there because of the points value when you compare it to the Stormcast. But let's have a look which fighters have that warrior rune mark. And let's have a look. So yeah, so you're looking at Man Skewer Bolt Boys, the Gut Rippers. Doesn't include your Hobgrots, but it does include the Gut Rippers. So you want to get the Gut Rippers in there. Maybe you're taking a Killer Boss Hero in there. You want to get him in. The Merknob with Belcher Banner has got it. The Swamp Caller Shaman has got it. So yeah, you got a lot of them with that rune mark. So yeah, there's a really good chance you could make use of that quad. So that's nice. And let's have a look. But do we get any others for the fighter abilities that everyone can use? And we don't. So yeah, so you got 4 different ones. The triple seems pretty cool though. It's called Brood Elixir, where you can pick a friendly fighter within 1 inch of this fighter and then roll a number of dice equal to the value of the ability. And for every 4+, remove up to 3 damage points allocated to that fighter. So that's huge. So again, if you get 6s here, 666, you can roll 6 dice now this time, and then for every 4+, remove up to 3 damage points. That's huge. So yeah, this is great. Brood Elixir again plays into that narrative of the Kruleboyz, and I really like that. And you can see here we got 12 fighter cards on that page and just 2 more at the bottom, but that gives you access to all the fighters that were included in the Dominion box set and you're going to get those throughout those different starter sets too. And you also get the Kruleboyz name tables, origin table, and leader favor warrior background table too. So really nice updates. And again, I'm going to do videos for both the Kruleboyz and the Stormcast. So I'm going to do a deep dive on those and really look at every single fighter in detail. And I think we should get these on the tabletop and do a battle report as well. I think that would be really fun. So there we go, a great update for Warcry. Sorry to see this is the last call of the Ever-Chosen campaigns that they're going to put out for the time being, but really happy to hear that there's going to be some new stuff for Warcry on the horizon and coming really soon, so can't wait for that. But I'd love to know what you think about these fighter cards for both the Kruleboyz and the Stormcast, and also this campaign. Is it appealing to you, and is this one that you're going to be giving a go? But I hope you enjoyed the video. It went on a bit longer than I thought it would, but I really got into it, and it's great fun to see some Warcry content. So I had a great time reading through it and can't wait to give it a go myself. But thanks so much for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. If you like this kind of content and would like to support the channel, then please check out my Patreon page, and thanks to everyone who's joined so far. It's really awesome. We hang out on Discord, talk about the hobby, share ideas and help each other out, and you'll get some perks there that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I'll put a link in the description and it'd be great to see you there.